Okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start. We will first have a safety briefing by Mr. Nirmal Singh, where we shall start and go into our proceedings with a word of prayer from Mr. Nirmal Singh. And then we go straight into it with a Muslim prayer as well as that of the Christian faith, and we'll have the national anthem.
Let us all stand. Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum, and a pleasant good afternoon. Let me immediately recognize the Member of Parliament, members of Council, the Vice Chairman and his team, members from the Miaro-Yokla Regional Corporation, other speakers, well-wishers, and our big round fans. Let me start off by giving you a little safety briefing this afternoon. My name is Nirmal Singh, and we have no planned drills for this afternoon, but we want you to do a lot of things for us. We want you to observe the COVID protocols, keep your mask on, look at the person next to you, because if something were to happen, they will have to account for you or vice versa. And we want to maintain our little distances. Our COVID protocols are still in strict effect. So let us bow our heads as we focus. You all may know that now is a very festive time for both, well, in fact, all of them, Hindus, Muslims, and Christian. So today we pray a special prayer on our political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Bissessa, the mother of the nation. We pray for our MP and his family, the councillors and their family, everyone who is here. We have lost so many women, so many loved ones, and we pray today a special prayer that may their soul find a resting place with God. Whatever religious factor they belong to, may they find peace, may their soul rest in eternal peace. We pray. Hari Om Ya Devi Sarva Bhutesho Durga Rupena Sanskrita, Lakshmi Rupena Sanskrita, Saraswati Rupena Sanskrita, Namastasya, 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 Namo Namah. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Have a blessed night.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who give us a tawfiq and hidayat and yaqeen, and to be present here. May the Almighty Creator of the seven heaven and earth bless everyone who come out, our member of parliament, and all those who are on the table. May Allah bless our leader, political leader, Kamala Prasad-Bissessa, with the love of her heart and a mother and a sister for the whole nation. May Allah give us victory, inshallah, Ameen.
Heavenly Father, tonight we thank you for all the glory and honor that you continue to bring to us, Lord. I pray for each and every one gathered here tonight, and I pray that we reach our destination safely, Lord. I pray for our MP, Lord, of Cumuto Manzanilla, and I pray for our political leader, Lord. I pray that you continue to grant them strength, Lord Father, understanding, wisdom, and that you continue to bless the constituency of Cumuto Manzanilla and its constituents, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you continue to bless by extension this beloved country of Trinidad and Tobago, and that we continue, Lord, to give you all praise, glory, and glory that is due to you, Lord Father. Thank you, Lord, for all that you have done and all that you will continue to do in our lives. I pray that this meeting will be a blessed and auspicious one, Lord Father, and that each and every one here will continue to be blessed and guided by you and your holy and merciful love, Lord Father. Thank you for all you have done and all that you will continue to do. Amen. Up next, we'll have the national anthem, so please stand at attention.
After 3, 2, 3, forge from. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you. Please have your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Member of Parliament for Cumuto Manzanilla, I want to welcome you to TNT Speaks, the Cumuto Manzanilla edition. Welcome, welcome. Give yourselves a round of applause, man. We have a packed house today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am one of your co-chairmen this afternoon. I am Brian Big. I am the research officer for the Member of Parliament. With me is the most dynamic, effervescent, and may I say even beautiful, our alderman for Sangre Grande Regional Corporation, Ms. Susan Holder.
A pleasant good afternoon to my UNC family. It is my honor this afternoon. Forward, go backward. It is my honor this afternoon. It is my honor this afternoon to co-host this evening proceedings. And in so doing, I want to acknowledge a few persons. First and foremost, my political leader, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, a woman who is second to none. Members of the National Executive, listening audience, those who are sitting in the comfort of their homes or vehicles, and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad, and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, my wish is that you will sit and enjoy and pay special attention to what the speakers will have to say to you. This evening, I want to acknowledge in the midst of us our hard-working councillor for Sandy Grande Northwest, Councillor Nasser Hussain. The councillor for Sandy Grande Northwest, I grace your presence here this evening And last but not least, our list of speakers for tonight's program. I would now turn over to Mr. Brian Big.
Thank you. Let's hear it for Alderman, man. So my friends, as you would have heard, we are keeping to our strict COVID-19 restrictions and regulations. So please remember, keep your mask on at all times, be socially distanced. And what I'm seeing here, you all are beautiful and wonderful artists. Give yourself a round of applause, man. Cumuto Manzanilla. We're going straight into it. Please note that we are live via our Facebook pages, the UNC Facebook page. We are live on Douglas Politics. We are also live through the Cumuto Manzanilla MP page. So Cumuto Manzanilla, how are you feeling tonight? Let me hear you, man. This is the first open meeting for the year. How are you feeling? Yes, man. We go straight into it. I want to bring to you a dynamic fella. He is a member of the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation. He is one of our hard-working members of council. He is a hard-working alderman. I speak none other than Alderman Keon Singh. Let's hear it for him.
How are you? Yeah. Hey.
Thank you, Chairman of this evening proceeding. My esteemed political leader, members of Parliament, local government colleagues, national executive members, my UNC family, good evening. And welcome to our TNT Speaks program. Tonight, I speak to you as the Alderman of the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation to bring greetings to the electoral district of Cumuto Manzanilla. And also, I would like to say a special good evening to the Councillor Anil Maraj. Tonight, my brothers and sisters, I report to you all the achievements, development projects within the electoral district of Cumuto Manzanilla. Projects that recommend and completed. In Harcourt Chase, a construction of a retaining wall. St. Mary Manor Road, a construction of a box culvert. St. Anne's Trace, paving of roadway. Rapsy Trace, paving of roadway. Cumuto Road, paving of roadway. St. Mary Manor Road, phase 1, paving of roadway. St. Mary Manor Road 2, paving of roadway. Kunaripo Recreation Ground, construction of play park and outdoor cardio gym. Silver Windsor, 2 road crossings. And these 2 road crossings, for the past 8 to 9 years, these 2 road crossings was affecting the community for the scavenging trucks, the service area. I can say tonight, the councillor was working to ensure that the scavenging trucks is in service in this area tonight. Ramum Chase, paving of roadways. These projects are recommended by both Councillor Anil Maraj and myself and was complete. My friends, this project has also recommended by both Councillor Anil Maraj and myself. These projects have also been approved by this council. However, to date, because of the incompetence of the administration of the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation, this project has failed to commence. Guatapa Road, a construction of a retaining wall, awarded but failed to commence. Carter Road, a construction of 2 crossings, failed to commence. The Tamana Batcave, to construct railway along existing natural trails and installation of information signage, but failed to commence. Housing Village Recreation Ground, to construct pavilion and washroom facility, but failed to commence. Peterson Road, Peterson Chase, paving work failed to commence. So tonight, my brothers and sisters, I call on the administrative arm of the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation to tell the public why these projects cannot commence after it was approved. Some of them are going on 2 and 3 years. Up to this day, it cannot happen.
Cumuto Terminal, beside this project, this council have also approved $1 million for the electoral district of Cumuto Terminal to spend based on the recommendation of the community with the councillor for the electoral district of Cumuto Terminal. And these are some of the projects. Silver Windsor road paving. Terminal Section 2, road paving. Kasim Trace, road paving. Digans and Jar Hill road paving. Moonlight Avenue and Circular road paving. Carroll road paving. Los Armadillos Road, Lampo 6 for retaining wall, and Silmari Manuel Road for retaining wall as well. So my brothers and sisters, I would also like to touch some issues that affect the sporting industry in San Grande. Some of these issues relate to sports in the San Grande Regional Corporation. As Chairman of Sports and Culture in the San Grande Regional Corporation, I speak to you with a heavy heart to see what sport has become in this region. I say because of the deplorable condition of almost all playgrounds and facilities in the recreation ground. And yes, you might say it is a responsibility of the corporation. And yes, you are correct. However, as Chairman of Sports, I want to report to you for the reason for this. As a corporation, we depend on the Ministry of Finance, which comes under the vote under maintenance of building and grounds, which have not been forthcoming. Funding have not been forthcoming for the last 2 years since we in term. Under this vote, we have an allocation of $75,000 to maintain our recreation grounds, parks, cemeteries. But wait, $75,000 to maintain our recreation grounds, for cemeteries and parks. But wait, $75,000 to fix 44 playgrounds, 20 cemeteries, 3 play parks, and 3 basketball courts, together to add up to 70 facilities, giving us $1,007.42 per facility. So this means $1,771.42 to maintain one facility for the recreation grounds. Or you can believe this? This is what we're going through in San Grande Regional Corporation. This. Okay. Given us, so we decide now, we say, well, we will work with it. We will work with whatever allocation the government gives free. We try to prioritize work. And with this, up to now, we get no releases to help with these facilities. So leaving us with it without a red cent to upgrade any facilities right now. But the PNM could boast and say they're red and ready, right foot, left foot, all out. This being the case, leaving our young Dwayne Bravos, Dwight Yorks, and Anissa Mohammed without any direction to achieve their true potential, what can be their career? As Chairman of Sports, I call on the Minister of the Minister of Sports to invest more, demand more resources, be where our youths can showcase their talent. My brothers and sisters, under the United National Congress term in government, with the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister, the best Prime Minister ever had in this country, sport was alive. Domestic competition throughout rural communities was at its best. I know the PNM will say, because of COVID restriction, these facilities were not in use. I agree, but these problems exist before COVID. And if for some reason, I want to agree with you about COVID, when the restrictions start to relax, if we had the necessary releases, remedial works could have commenced on these facilities, giving our sportmen and sportwomen the opportunity to use these facilities. So my brothers and sisters, as I close tonight, my brothers and sisters, keep the faith, keep strong. Long live UNC, long live Kamala Persad-Bissessar. I thank you.
pleasant good afternoon again to my UNC family, those who just came in. This evening I want to introduce to you Mr. Kareem Swan, the youth officer for the Cumuto Manzanilla area. Kareem Swan has the kind of energy that one should have. I understand that this young man is a hard-working young man in the community and constituency to bring the youths together. And I personally love that kind of energy. So tonight, I will bring Kareem to say something to you all.
Cumuto Manzanilla, Member of Parliament, Dr. Rai Ragberry. Pointer Pear, Member of Parliament, Dr. David Lee. Couva North, Member of Parliament, Mr. Ravi Ratiram. Former UNC Senator and economist Tahaka Obika. Councillors of the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation and councillors of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. A hearty good evening to my Cumuto Manzanilla family and the loyal viewers tuned in on the various platforms tonight. It is indeed quite an honor to have the opportunity to express what concerns me as a youth from Cumuto Manzanilla and of our country. The age from 10 to 24 is a crucial transformational period in the life cycle of young people, from dependence to independence, from childhood to adulthood, from primary to secondary school onto tertiary education, or perhaps the labor market, or even both. I have lost count of the number of times I have heard a young person of my age bracket lament their difficulty obtaining employment. I am sure most of us, if not all of us, in this auditorium can list a few names of young adults who, for a long time, have been sending out applications for jobs they are qualified for. Unfortunately, they are still jobless. Young adults graduated with bachelor's degrees and masters are still out of a job. After the first 5 years of the present Prime Minister governing our country from 2015 to 2020, the total unemployment rate showed a gradual increase. On the other hand, it is beneficial to note that from 2010 to 2015, the unemployment rate for that 5 years had proven to show a significant decline, which was under the governance of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister. My brothers and sisters, a blind eye, my brothers and sisters, I repeat, a blind eye should not be turned on such important information. It then leads me to question, would the emerging demands of our nation's youth be met in our distant yet near future by our present government? I feel as though over recent years, the government's interest and investment in youth development through sports have been declining more than the cost of living. To date, we the citizens of this nation have, to our dispersal, established highly equipped sporting facilities one very much like the National Aquatic Center in Couva and the Northeastern Regional Multi-Purpose Sports Facility, of which were both built under the visionary leadership of Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Die performance, like she does say. Die performance, like she does say. All your club, die performance! Contrastingly, I don't see the present government offering sporting programs at these facilities to attract our nation's youth to be involved actively in sporting activities. Suffering the advancement of the skill set of our youths enforced through sports will only demolish the foundation for social development. Will the government ever intend to elevate youth athleticism that has the potential to expand the sporting economy? Unemployment and the lack of invested interest in youth development through sports are just two of the many issues that affect many youths of this country. Unfortunately, I am limited by time to gently touch on the superficial surface of those two concerns. But as I close and I make way for the other powerful speakers to come after me, I say to especially mothers, be mindful of who you put in a position to be an example of a leader to your children. Invest in leadership. Invest in leadership. Invest in leadership that will lead our nation's youth to a future as bright as the rising sun, or perhaps brighter. My brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you, my brothers and sisters.
Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, this is the first time that this young man has hit a UNC platform. Want to hear? That is the talent. That is the talent. That is the talent of Cumuto Manzanilla. Let's give him a round of applause again. Moving on. Before I introduce my next speaker, I want to recognize a few people in the audience. I recognize the Public Relations Officer, Dr. Kirk Mego of the United National Congress National Executive. I recognize Bimal Ramlogan, our Tobago rep. I see the Alderman for Tunapuna Piako Regional Corporation, Mr. Kivan Gibbs. My brothers and sisters, I want to welcome a first-term councillor for the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. Bachelor's of Science degree in radiography. She's a radiographer by profession. She has been involved in politics since the age of 16. Worked with two previous members of Parliament of Cumuto Manzanilla. Have a passion for serving people and her community. She is a member of the Chavuma Agricultural Group, member of the Beach Cultural Group. I want you all to give a large Cumuto Manzanilla welcome to the Councillor for Beach Charuma. Let's welcome Ms. Charlene Muna.
Member of Parliament for our constituency, Dr. Rai Ragbear, and not forgetting the beautiful Mrs. Ragbear, who is always by his side. All MPs carded to speak here tonight who is currently on their way. All councillors from the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation. My colleagues from the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen here tonight, and all joining on social media and virtual platforms. Good night, Cumuto Manzanilla.
Hey, 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 hey.
I am a first-term councillor at the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. And to say the least, it has been a challenging couple of years to witness firsthand the destruction caused by the incompetent and visionless PNM government. So many families affected within my district with the mismanagement of COVID-19 by your so-called Minister of Health, causing so many persons to lose their jobs and now are unable to provide for their families. I have worked closely with my MP. We have had many hamper distributions and hamper drives. We have continued to assist hundreds of families within my electoral district of Bishtaruma and the constituency of Cumuto Manzanilla. We are now approaching the reopening of physical school. I have already received numerous calls for assistance for basic stationery. Imagine our parents cannot even afford copybooks to send their children to school. What has the PNM done? I could answer that for you. Absolutely nothing. No assistance with school supplies. No assistance with food grants. This is the inhumane and uncaring PNM government for you. Under the astute leadership of the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, she was a caring, she was a compassionate leader. She understood the struggle of low-income homes, and she tried to ease the burden. Remember the laptop program? Remember the programs where she had providing school books to your children and to the students in each school? And as the counselor for Beach Charuma, I could never forget, she opened the Beach Secondary School. It was such a challenge, the PNM refused to open it. In 2010, when she became the first female prime minister, she opened the school because she understood the value of education. She understood that the future lied in the hands of the children. Our future depended on them. The PNM has no plan to mitigate these issues. Poor people in this country will continue to suffer. And as a local government representative, I have to tell you here tonight that you may have heard on many platforms before, the lack of funding from central government to the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation has been horrendous. At this point, the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation has no cement, we have no steel, we have no oil sand, and we have no money to purchase any. This is because of the incompetent People's National Movement. Our fleet of vehicles continue to deplete as we have received no funding for repairs and maintenance of vehicles. Imagine one water truck operational. You know what that means? It means no infrastructural development within the region. We are unable to maintain our local roads and bridges. And to remind you, our nation's food basket falls within the electoral district of Bishtaruma, yet nothing is being done for agriculture. The inability to maintain our grounds and parks and cemeteries. I say tonight to you, Al-Rawi, come out of your $1 million complex. Take off your pretty pointy-mouth shoes and come and visit and see firsthand the struggle of the people in Trinidad and Tobago. Instead, the first thing you try to do as the new Minister of Local Government is to introduce local government reform. Is this the smart tactic to get property tax in? Think about it. I say to you, Mr. Al-Rawi, deal with the issues at hand. Give the corporations the relevant funding they need to function. Look at the Canapo Southern Main Road. Anybody visiting Beach, anybody visiting Rio Claro on your way to Sangre Grande, the Plumitan Road, the Beach Forest Road, the condition is horrendous. And imagine, I write a letter to the Ministry of Works and Transport and getting a response, they have no resources at this time. So I ask, where's the money going? What is the role and function of the Ministry of Works if it is not to repair our roads? There are so many issues to deal with tonight. We have a battery of speakers, and I am sure we are going to touch on every issue here. But before I leave tonight, let me remind you, the PNM is the problem. The PNM is the enemy. We must stand united. We must stand strong. We must be UNC and proud. We at the UNC camp are ready for battle. We will continue to fight for the people of this constituency and the people of Trinidad and Tobago and call out on this waste of time government. I say long live to the UNC. Long live to my beloved political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I thank you.
Pleasant night again to my UNC family from the Rio Claro Regional Corporation. Tonight I greet you. Tonight I want to introduce to you Councillor Calvin Cicharan.
You want speed, 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 you want speed. Oh gosh, I'm say
better known as the Dragon. Calvin Cicharan is a man who will stand up in the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation and spit fire when he cannot get what he wants for his burgesses. Calvin Cicharan is a man who have a heart for the people in our region. Tonight I want to look, Mr. Calvin Cicharan is on my left. This is the man who will stand up and fight for you all, and I want you all to give him continued support.
You want speed, you want speed, you want speed, you want speed, you want speed.
Thank you very much, Alderman Susan Hola. Thank you very much. Good night, my UNC family. Good night to our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Member of Parliament for Cumuto Manzanilla, Dr. Rai Rakbir, local government colleagues. I want to say a special good night to my sisters from Rio Claro Regional Corporation, Councillor Mona and Councillor Renal Kisun. Good night to NATEX members. Good night to all other MPs who are here and who are on their way. Good night. And most importantly, good night to you, my UNC family of Cumuto Manzanilla. Special good night to my burgesses of Sangre Grande South. Tonight, I want to bring you achievements as councillor for my term in office so far. But the list is so long, I will skip a few and get to some that I know is more important and some that I know touch the lives of many. I want to start with the Baka Chase retaining wall. Baka Chase people, good night. Coal mine people, good night. For way too long, you all fell victim of being neglected in Baka Chase for this retaining wall. Tonight, I am here to report to you that this retaining wall, under the recommendation and consultations by residents of Baka Chase and approval by this council, this UNC council of 2019 to 2022, the wall was constructed, the road was rehabilitated, and final pavement to this road will be coming soon. My brothers and sisters, Alderman Sarup Singh would have touched on a very important issue taking place at the Sanghi Regional Corporation, whereas contracts were awarded to contractors and these contracts failed to start. And some of these same contractors kept on getting contracts upon contracts, although they failed to start contracts. Tonight, I want to identify one particular contract, the coal mine recreation ground. This council would have approved the construction of a pavilion and a washroom facility. To date, this project has failed to start. My brothers and sisters, this project is a CEO award contract. Tonight, I have in my hand here the list of all the registered contractors at the Sanghi Regional Corporation. So my question tonight to the CEO of the Sanghi Regional Corporation, why the contract at the coal mine recreation ground has not started as yet? Is it because the contractor who was awarded this contract is not on this list of registered contracts at the Sanghi Regional Corporation? My friends, this UNC Council that you all would have voted and put to represent you for transparency and accountability, we stand firm together in Council. Councillor Nasser Hussain, stand up, my brother.
Hey,
Councillor Kenvin Phillip and Vice Chairman of the Sanghi Regional Corporation. Alderman Kian Sarup Singh, Alderman Susan Hola, and Councillor Anil Maharaj. We stand in the belief for betterment for the people of Sanghi, and that is the reason why our political leader installed us inside there with the blessing of you all of you all here. My brothers and sisters, this is just one of the many contracts that was awarded and cannot start. And this is just one of the contracts that this specific contractors, I can call the name, I can call the contractor, but I will not call the name tonight. Because I know if I call the name, the UNC have the best legal minds in Trinidad and Tobago, and they will represent me because they know it's the truth I speak about. And man, yes, man. So my brothers and sisters, I will move on from that here. My colleague, Councillor Mona, would have spoken about the road conditions. All of us here have been experiencing the distress about the road conditions in Trinidad. So my colleague spoke about it. I will leave that there also. I want to speak a little bit on a topic that is close to my heart, and that is social welfare. My brothers and sisters, every single day at my office, we get calls and we get people walking in asking for assistance through social welfare. We as councillors, that does not fall under our purview. Social welfare have a ministry. However, the Ministry of Social Welfare has failed the people of Sanghi and by extension the people of Trinidad and Tobago. These people are vulnerable people. These people go and sit under a tent in Sanghi by the welfare office from 8 o'clock sometime till 3, 4 o'clock in the evening. They fill out all the application, they do all the ups and downs to get the necessary documents that is required. And you know what? After that, it takes months, weeks turn into months, and months turn into years for these people to be adjusted because of the requests. If these people had funding or had the ability to do better, they would not have gone to social welfare. I am calling on the Ministry of Social Development here tonight and the Minister of Social Development. We need your ministry to do better. The people of Cumuto Manzanilla demand better from you all. My brothers and sisters, dealing with social welfare again, since 2018 for the massive flooding, coming straight up to this year. Last year, December, we had flooding. Up to today, again, all the relevant persons who was affected by the flooding did all the necessary requirements, and up to today, not a red cent, not any assistance given to these people. I can call one person in particular, Mr. Selvan Ramcharan, right at the corner back at Trace. An old man, his trade is painting vehicles. He lost his welding plan, all his electrical tools. This is how the man depends on us helping his family survive. Up to today, he calls me every day, Calvin, what's going on? I did my part. As the councillor. I carried the corporation DMU unit to visit him. They did the assessment and all the papers went to ministry. But up to today, what about this man's family? This is just one, my brothers and sisters. Again, I will leave that there. My brothers and sisters, as councillors and aldermen here, every single day, we experience the cries of families and persons asking for hampers. We are living in 2022, where some countries are advanced as technological countries. We here still living, persons begging for basic food necessities. Why must that be? And the PNM boasting the great is the PNM. If they're calling that great, God help us all. God help us all. Tonight, my brothers and sisters, beside hampers, school reopens in a couple of weeks, physically. Beside hampers, right now as councillors, I have to choose whether to assist parents with stationaries or with hampers. You tell me, if you all was councillor, what would you assist? They need food and they want to send the children to school to have an education. But you know what? I stand here tonight in support of my political leader when she called on the Prime Minister to initiate a one-off school grant and the return of the hampers to assist these people, to assist these students. My brothers and sisters, the Prime Minister stood up last week and sang. What is the song he sang again? Help me here. Somebody touch me, and asking the Prime Minister tonight, listen to the cry of our political leader and touch the lives of these students and these parents and give them the one-off book grant and hampers so that these children can return to school comfortably. My brothers and sisters, I know time, don't come and tell me I have to leave, I talking. Give me another chance. My brothers and sisters, my philosophy in life is that you can only relate to poverty only when you have directly experienced it. And our political leader on many platforms would have spoken about when she would have went to school barefoot, eating sada roti. And I can stand here tonight proud and say that all the councillors, all the UNC councillors at the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation can attest that directly we went through poverty also. Councillor Nasser Hussein again, Northwest, Sangre Grande Northwest, and mind you, Councillor Nasser Hussein is flying the UNC flag proud in Soko Sangre Grande. The lone councillor, the lone UNC councillor at the Sangre Grande Region. Congratulations, my brother. Keep up the good work. My brothers and sisters, it have so much to be said. So much to be said here tonight. I know Brian keeps standing up, and I know that is my cue to give up, I need to stop talk. But in the coming weeks, you will hear a lot more from us at the Sanghi Grande Regional Corporation. And tonight, my brothers and sisters, tonight, I ask you, my brothers and sisters of Cumuto Manzanilla, my brothers and sisters, let's remain united as one people, as one party, with only one leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I am UNC. I am proud. I am Calvin Citron, Councillor for Sanghi Grande South. I thank you.
Gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to welcome Member of Parliament for Couva North, Ravi Ratiram. Let us welcome Councillor Renel Kisoon. And also, I want all you to welcome the political leader who is on the live watching us tonight. Let us hear Cumuto Manzanilla. Let us hear you. Well, we're going quick and fast. I want to welcome a young gentleman, a young imam in training, a member of the Cumuto Manzanilla Executive, a gentleman who has been doing his studies in paralegal. Very soon, he will become a practicing lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, join with me and welcome Zahir Khan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for such a welcome. The Honorable Dr. Rai Ragbir, Member of Parliament for Cumuto Manzanilla. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Couva North, Ravi Ratiram. Councillors of the Sanghi Grande Regional Corporation. Councillors of the Miaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. Other members of the head table. Persons who are viewing on our social media platform. I bring to you the universal greetings of peace and blessings of the Almighty. I extend greetings to my brothers of the Islamic community. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakat. I am indeed happy, privileged to speak on this TT Speak platform tonight. As a practicing Muslim, I would like to extend to my Muslim brothers and sisters and throughout the country, Ramadan Mubarak. I have had the distinct pleasure to serve on the Cumuto Manzanilla Executive for years, working with our great party, the United National Congress, to ensure whenever the elections are called, that we are victorious at the polls. Many of you would ask yourself, what are the role and function of the executive in a constituency? Well, we are the elected body that runs the party affairs, mobilize, make membership, and to work with all arms in the constituency. Cumuto Manzanilla is one of the largest constituencies in Trinidad. Prior to COVID-19, we had community meetings, walkabouts, meeting with our supporters, selling the good news of the UNC, the United National Congress. As we move to ensure that our political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, return to the corridors of power. My brothers, my sisters, we the people of Cumuto Manzanilla are totally fed up of this wicked, evil PNM government. Everywhere you go, you hear the same cry, Rowley must go! Rowley must go! It's time to call the election. Return to good governance in Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight, I am happy to be part of a team that works hard and with a hardworking Member of Parliament, Dr. Rai Ragber, who has been in every nook and cranny of this constituency. My brothers and sisters, we know the needs of the people, but this wicked, evil Prime Minister, PNM government cares about no one. They only care about the big boys and their family. My brothers and sisters, we must not forget the great work that the UNC have done in governance in 2010 to 2015. I must remind you, because sometimes we tend to forget as a people that the short space of time the United National Congress has built in Cumuto Manzanilla, the Cumuto Police Station, the Cumuto Tamana Community Center, the Cumuto Manzanilla Nariva Government Primary School, the Manzanilla High School, the Maraj Hill Early Childhood Care Center, the Corial High School, the Boardwalk in Manzanilla, and not forgetting the Beach High School. My brothers and sisters, I can go on and on, but not tonight. I am reminding you, because sometimes we tend to forget the good days that the UNC had prevailed for us. But let us not forget that we shall return to those glorious days one day. Let us as a people stand united, stand as one with one common cause to save Trinidad and Tobago from this evil, wicked PNM government and return and must return our Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So I ask of you, when the elections are called, sooner than later, the UNC will be the next government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Long live the UNC. Long live our political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa. I thank you. I thank you.
Yes, man. Let's hear it for Zahir again. Coming now to the podium. She's born in Mayaro. She's one of the country's youngest serving councillors. She holds a bachelor degree in criminology and criminal... You know what? Let me take this off a little bit. Are you seeing me now? Criminal justice from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. During her years at the university, she has served at the Guild of Students during 2016 to 2017 academic year. Since completing her first degree, she has strengthened her commitment to her community. She has been the co-founder and she can move the movement that focuses on empowerment and protection of women and girls. During COVID-19, she successfully executed initiatives which benefited thousands of residents. Ladies and gentlemen, she is a young representative, a youth representative for her area. I want you to welcome a dynamic, young, beautiful, dynamic, did I say dynamic? I say it again, dynamic, Councillor for Kokal Mafikin, Renee Kisoon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for that dynamic introduction. I wish to send greetings to the political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisasa, Member of Parliament for Cumuto Manzanilla, Dr. the Honorable Rai Ragber, and of course the beautiful Mrs. Rai Ragber, all MPs present, all local government colleagues, and all flag bearers of our great party, activists of the United National Congress, all persons listening and viewing, pleasant good evening. It is truly a pleasure to be back out in the physical space here with you all tonight. You look very lovely in your yellow. However, it is so heartbreaking to stand and list the many issues affecting our beloved countries and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The time is so short to share on our many issues which I span beyond our constituency and throughout the island of Trinidad and Tobago. We don't have enough roads in our potholes. We have more flood water than water in our pipelines. And let's not talk about unemployment and underemployment. I know Kareem would have executed the discussions on that excellently, so I would not go into it tonight. But in my short time, I'd like to discuss what I believe to be the most critical issue to hundreds of farmers currently displaced in our Plumita Beach area. As you and I know, and maybe we need to remind this incompetent PNM government, Caltu Trace Plumita is home to one of our country's largest food baskets. And while it is bursting with potential, we have only been asking for the bare minimum from a non-performing Ministry of Agriculture. My colleague, Councillor Charlene Muna, said it best. Absolutely nothing is being done for agriculture in this country. As it is right now, we know that the Caltu Bridge is closed to all vehicular traffic, and it can possibly totally collapse right now as I address you here tonight. In the beginning of 2021, after months of begging through Dr. Rai, through Councillor Charlene Muna, the then invisible Minister of Agriculture, Clarence Rambarat, made a grand and glowing appearance in Plumita in an attempt to papi show big men and women. The following day, a nice interview was published in the media promising total reconstruction of the bridge for our over 500 farmers. But PNM promises never materialize. To date, not a single brick was dropped for the bridge. Not one person returned to move forward with any reconstruction. When I wrote to Minister Rambarat back in January for an update, this was his response, and I can very happily post it anywhere for you all to read. It is one line, very short. Please be advised that this matter was referred to the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government for their attention. So, brothers and sisters, one sentence, no explanation, no timeline, no information, and that is the lack of consideration and care that this PNM minister and all of them have towards the hard-working citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I wish to tell those ministers, these farmers are not begging for any handouts from you. They are not begging for money or any luxury that you all have. They are simply asking that the government of a nation provide the necessity of an access road so that they can toil the soil to feed their families. Why must we resort to shaming a ministry into fixing a bridge so that over 500 farmers can tend their soil? More so, brothers and sisters, God forbid an emergency situation should present itself where the elderly or infirmed must get out of Caltu Trace. And it broke my heart to read of the tragic event in the Princestown constituency where a fire took the lives of an elderly couple due to neglect, due to no access road, and then due to no water. So let's not talk about the lack of water in the Plumita area and throughout the entire southeastern region. 7 years under PNM and 2.5 ministers later, we continue to see total neglect under the Ministry of Agriculture. Well, in the past, we used to hear about diversification through the agricultural sector and diversification of the economy. But, brothers and sisters, this is merely a dream under the visionless, Rowley PNM regime. While other corporations in the capital could deliberate on $20 million turf grass, we in the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation and the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation must beg for money, for fuel for our trucks, for money, for parts to fix our truck, to carry out routine daily maintenance, to clean your drains, to clean your toilets. This is what we face in the Mayaro, Rio Claro, and Sandy Grande regional corporations. We can only dream now of money for tourism to develop our 40 miles of unutilized beaches. My brothers and sisters, my time is short, but these are the issues plaguing our region right now. I stand firm with the residents of Kokal Mafikin, our councillors, MP Rai Ragbir, and the United National Congress under the stewardship of Kamla Prasad Bisesa. And we call this government to action. We call for the immediate reconstruction of our Kaltu Trace Bridge. We call for the release of funds to our UNC corporations. We are fed up and sick of this PNM government. Long live the United National Congress. Long live Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I thank you.
Good night again to my UNC family. I am here tonight to introduce to you the man of the moment, Councillor for Manzanilla Fishing Pond, and Chairman of the Sandy Grande, Vice Chairman of the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation, Mr. Kenwin Phillip.
Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing fair and pain.
Mr. Kenwin Phillip. Mr. Kenwin Phillip is a man with a heart for the people. Mr. Kenwin Phillip will go the distance to assure that the burgesses of his electoral district and by extension the region is well taken care of. And on the other hand, his political leader, if there is a flood and the political leader cannot get across, and Mr. Phillip have to tote her on his back to assure that she's safe, he will do so. This is the kind of people we want to represent us in this region. Mr. Kenwin Phillip is one of the councillors who would stand up in the corporation and demand things for his burgesses and for, by extension, for the region. Mr. Councillor Phillip is here tonight to inform you of what is presently taking place in the Sandy Grande Corporation and what took place in the past. I am well aware that when the government, the PNM government, do a budget, you would see millions of dollars allocated for the regional corporation. But I am here this evening to support my council members and the other councillors. We have no releases. It's only allocation, big numbers, but no releases. We are always willing and ready to serve you all, but no funding. So, Mr. Kenwin Phillip, I'm inviting you to the podium.
Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing fear and pain, but also a brand new sky.
Thank you, Chairman of this evening's proceeding. Honorable political leader, Member of Parliament for Cumuto Manzanilla, Dr. Rai Rakbir, Mrs. Rakbir, other members of Parliament, local government colleagues, NATEX members, I just want to acknowledge past councillor for the electoral district of Manzanilla, Mr. Sudin, past councillor for the electoral district of Sani Grande South, Ms. Harris, past councillor Mr. Nirmal Singh, my UNC family, good night. My UNC family, good night. Thank you. Welcome to our TNT Speaks program. My friends, tonight, as we enter into the 7th month, into this financial year of 2021-2022, and the last year for us, this term of council, it is my duty to report to you, the people of this region, the financial status of the corporation and the experience we have been facing as council members. My friends, I want to say tonight, without any regrets, that I believe, it is my belief that the UNC corporation throughout the country is being stifled. I want to say that with no apology, and I'll tell you why. In my hand here is the budget allocation for 2020-2021. That's just for 2020-2021, and I have my reason for pulling these two. December the 2nd, 2019 was the election. P&M had run the corporation. I want you to pay attention to me because you all will call and say council members not assisting in things. In 2019, P&M would have held the corporation by casting vote. In 2020, the allocation under drainage and irrigation, because P&M thought they would have won the corporation, was $5,500,000. When the UNC won the corporation in 2021 fiscal year, the allocation would have decreased by $2 million. That leaving us with approximately $3.5 million to deal with drainage and irrigation. And this $3 million have to be divided by 8 electoral districts. So normally when we will have $600,000 or $700,000 to do development projects of box drains, retaining wall, it decreased now because the UNC take over the Sani Grande Corporation. Development of recreational facilities from $2,536,000, it dropped to $800,000. That is $100,000 per electoral district to take care of recreation facilities. And my electoral district have 7 recreation grounds, 2 basketball courts, and netball courts. And we have $100,000 to deal with these 7 recreation grounds. Now, as a corporation, we depend on funding from central government. And if we don't get releases from central government, there's nothing we can do as council members. We may want to assist as much as we can, but if we don't have the releases, there's not much we can do. The only thing we receiving funding for in the corporation is for salary and salary-related items. That is for temporary work, short-term employment. Now it comes, we paying construction team as it is now to do construction work, but we don't have the material to do because we're not receiving money under material and supply. And I will get into that in a short while. Local roads and bridges program
from $5 million. This is where we used to pave roads throughout the region. It dropped to $3,500,000, and that has to be divided into 8 electoral districts. You do the maths. So my friends, as much as we may want to assist, the funding don't allow us to do it. This is the fiscal year for 2020-2021. My friends, the allocation for this fiscal year is $75,452,400 for the Sanigrani Regional Corporation. And as it is now, under development, and this money is not for us to fix road now, because most of this money going on recurrent. Recurrent means the normal expenditure of the corporation. This funding is used. The only thing we as council members receive from this is the funding that come under the development project. And the allocation for this year is a little over 12 million. Under maintenance, 004 maintenance of building and grounds, etc. Material and supply, Olaman Sarup Singh spoke about it, $75 million to deal with 40-something recreation grounds. 75,000, my apologies, $75,000 to deal with 40-something recreation ground. You all do the maths. You all would have noticed back then we would have made news with the cricket board stating that we're neglecting the recreation facilities and them. My friends, we depend on funding from central government, and we are 6 months into this fiscal year, and we have not received a red cent under material and supply, maintenance of buildings and grounds. 005 Local Health Authority, material and supply, from an allocation last fiscal year of $300,000, we received $150,000 allocation. And this is the public health department in the corporation who deals with cleaning your drains. My friends, this is only allocation, and the figures that I'm calling out here is allocation. This is what the government will go and boast on national television and say they allocate $150,000 for Sanigrani Regional Corporation. Again, we are in half of the fiscal year and not one red cent received. Right now, workers in the public health department, they don't have tools, they don't have equipment, they don't have nothing to come and clean drains. And they say they're ready and they're ready. My friends, under 006, maintenance of state traces. Now, this is where you all will call and ask us to patch a road, councillor, we wanted to help us fix a drain. $450,000 for my allocation in 2020. Back then, we was getting $1.7 million under material and supply maintenance of state traces. It dropped to $450,000. My friends, and we have received a cent yet, and we owing from the last fiscal year, and we in half of the financial year. How can we as council members provide to you when the government of the day failed to release funding to the corporation? I am asking you all, my duty here is to inform, educate you on what is taking place in the corporation, so when people talk, you can explain to them the neglect of the government to release funding to the corporations, and not only Sanigrani, Miara Regional Corporation speak about it. The first thing you all say that councillors don't want to work, but under this government, they make councillors beggars. Beggars, because we have to go and beg Ministry of Works for milling material to patch roads. I could call roads in my area often. Limong area, Fishing Pond area, Kai Wall, 1 and 2, Marquis Road, St. Isidore Road. Thank God the Minister of Works have a piece of land up in Manzanilla. Now we get any Eastern Main Road paved. But they're only seeing about themselves. So I want to ask the Minister of Works today, all these roads I list, I want you to buy land in them so you go fix the roads. My friends, and this one is very close to my heart, because we as council members, we would have campaigned in 2019 in the market, and we would have asked the vendors in the market to support us because we had a plan for you. Under market and abattoir, no allocation whatsoever. None whatsoever. Right now the vendors in the open market balling, and we say we are the food basket of the region. That is the logo of the Sanigani region and the food basket. My friends, we would have put up the covering of the open market on 2 occasions. 2 occasions, this council would have approved the funding that come under market and abattoir. And the government of the day failed to release the funding. My friends, how can we as a corporation, as council members, deliver to you when the government is stifling us? You know, this time we get 500,000 under market and abattoir. When we tell them that, they say steel price gone up. Steel price gone up, so we can't put it up again. I want to list the name of the roads that I have achieved in my electoral district, but there's too much to call tonight. So I want you to go up on my Facebook page and you will see it. One project I want to touch on tonight, you see the Gaynda Road Boardwalk. I want tonight to assure the resident of Fishing Pond, under the allocation from the unspent balances, as councillor, I would have liaised with the resident of Gaynda Road, Fishing Pond and surrounding, and I want to promise you tonight that 300,000 from the $1 million will be allocated to the Gaynda Road Boardwalk. I just want to ask you for 2 minutes again. Damn thing. It have some things here. Councillor Sicharan would have stated something that we are facing in corporation. I want to raise some issue here tonight. Some of the irregularities in the corporation, and I want you to listen here tonight. We would have had some irregularities in the corporation. $1 million would have been awarded, would have been approved from the minister under the unspent balances for us as council members to decide what we want to do with it. Now, the CEO would have took it upon herself and approved 200,000 without council approval, and went ahead and do out on water trucking from this $1 million. My friends, this $1 million, which was approved by the minister, was supposed to purchase a water tender the council would have approved. The CEO would have taken it upon herself and approved 200,000 from the $1 million for contractors to do water trucking. One, under this CEO, project was awarded for one price, and when it comes to the council for payment, it comes for another price. And when we talk about it, they say this council members looking for bacchanal. Scavenging contractors working 2 and 3 days, Silver Windsor, no days whatsoever. Well, when they come for payment, it comes in for 21 and 23 days. Contractors receiving contract which they are not on the list of bona fide contractors in the corporation. A road paving in Old Plum Road, which I would have brought to the attention of the council that the work was not done in accordance to the specs, and I would have asked the council to hold the payment. The CEO went ahead and paid it without council approval. My friend, in closing, they're running me. I have plenty to talk, but they're running me. So in closing, I want to remind the people of Cumuto Manzanilla, my brothers, my sisters, leaders, we are one party. We have one leader, and that is the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa. And I ask you tonight, whatever differences you may have, whatever differences you may have, now is the time to put it aside. And let us put Trinidad and Tobago first. Let us move forward with this leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa. I thank you.
You got an accent, but we're not really different. 99.1% love to wine, represent all that we want to see. Happiness, prosperity, I for you and you for me. Cause if you cut me, you go see blood. And if you squeeze me, you go feel the love. We are one people under the sun. One nation
UNC
under
family.
the law.
Tonight I want to introduce to you Mr. Tahaka Obika. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Obika. Tahaka Obika is the holder of a BSc Economics from the University of the West Indies and an MBA in France. He has held technical and leadership positions in over 10 organizations, including economics, lecture economic, and head of operation of a financial institution. A former opposition senator, he is currently chief economist at the office of the leader of the opposition. I will now leave room for Mr. Obika.
Who feel the white? Who feel the white? I don't know. But it's starting tomorrow night. Who feel the wrong? Who feel the wrong? Who feel the right? Who feel the
Good night, good night, good night. Good night. Good night. We short on time. Enough respect to the people of Cumuto. How you feeling? If you're feeling good, say yeah, yeah.
You want speed, you want speed, you want speed, you want speed, you want speed.
Of course, to the political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, to the MP for Cumuto Manzanilla, Dr. Rai Ragber. A round of applause for this wonderful meeting this evening.
Hey, hey, hey.
Tonight we also have the Chief Whip and the Member of Parliament for Pointe-à-Pierre, MP David Lee, and MP Ravi Ratiram. So, on Tuesday, we were made to listen to the least energetic PNM meeting in the history of PNM meetings under Keith Rowley. They tried to sell themselves the lie that everything is going good. They tried to sell themselves the lie that the economy is going smoothly. In fact, Colman Burt came with a long laundry list of all the things, all the measures he put in place to make you feel as good as you feeling today, with 100,000 plus jobs lost. You feeling good with that? The 6,000 businesses that closed down, you feeling good with that?
Hey!
Of course, the 2,000 students that dropped out of the education system during COVID up to last year, we ain't counting this year, because their parents either ain't had the money, they ain't no light in the house, they ain't no tablet, they ain't no device, nothing. 2,000 students dropped out. Now I served as a teacher. And as a teacher, when a child falls through the cracks, even though they're still in school, what we just frighten them with is that jail waiting for them. What this government has done is condemned 2,000 citizens, children in this country, by failing them. 2,000. Not 2, not 20, not 200, but 2,000. 2,000 of our potential leaders of tomorrow, they have condemned. And they don't care. It's not their children. So, of course, what exactly do we have to look forward to? You heard from all the councillors, and one person who was missing in action on this meeting on Tuesday, the PNM meeting, is the member of cabinet responsible for local government. Because right after he got his promotion, he was nowhere to be seen. There was nobody with a pocket square or a tight shirt in the PNM meeting on Tuesday, because the former AG, he got promoted. So we thought he would have been in the front row. Apparently, when they get promoted in the PNM, you don't get invited to meetings with a political leader. So, of course, Minister Ember tried to convince people that the economy diversifying. He tried to convince people that things going smoothly. But what he didn't do is take responsibility for how you feeling about your economy today.
Hey, hey, hey.
Now,
hey.
That song, just like the other minister, who says it's not his responsibility to make you feel anyway. So when it comes to the economy, it is not Coleman Burt's responsibility to make you feel economic security, food security, job security. That is not his responsibility. His responsibility is to come and announce all the things that he writes on paper and read in Parliament. But not about making sure that your children have jobs to look forward to. Not about making sure that you could feel a sense of pride of being in Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, people are lining up to leave this country because there is no opportunity here. And when we raise that in the Parliament, when MP Rodney Charles raised that in the Parliament that Guyana, Barbados, is doing better than we by miles, instead of the Prime Minister acknowledging that he has work to do, he is saying, well, get the hell out of here. Go to Barbados. Go to Guyana. We want you here. Well, we want Keith Rowley out of government. That is what we want. Now, the time is short and the baton is long. So I'm going to take some time to wrap up, because there's a point that the Minister of Finance tried to make. When you go online, whether you use your cell phone or you decide to go and use the computer in the public library, when you go online, you are not finding data that the Minister of Finance referred to. So he claimed to have some GDP data that the economy is doing according to him. So now is the economy according to Coleman Burt. You know, we have the gospel according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We have the economy according to Coleman Burt, not according to CSO. Because when you go on the CSO's website, there is no data to support what Coleman Burt said. Not according to the central bank, because there is no data there to support what Coleman Burt said. He gave us a piece of the picture. In 1 quarter, they get 5-point-something billion. Let us see the data, because the data that we have is that up to 2020, this economy declined by 16%. Up to 2019, before COVID, it declined by 10%. So $16 billion lost from 2015 to 2019, an additional $11 billion in 2020. So even if he catch a short length last year, that is not enough. We need to see the data, because we're not taking the economy according to Coleman Burt at all. Now, of course, MP Ratchir, I'm going to talk to you about the farmers. So I will leave that point for him. Dr. Rai is going to deal, of course, with the medical situation, and MP Lee with the energy sector. But there's something very important that Coleman Burt left out. He didn't announce any plans. He didn't announce any plans because the game changers failed. The dry dock failed. Sandals failed. Dragon gas failed. So he announced no plans whatsoever in the meeting on Tuesday because he realized all the plans failing. So he want nothing for us to criticize. He want nothing for us to look forward to. So therefore, you have no plans to look forward to, and you have a Minister of Finance who really doesn't care about how you feel about the economy. And the latest news, as I wrap up, is the Minister of Agriculture. The man who tells Trinidad and Tobago, everybody inside are here, and in the country to rock so, he rock and come back in. You understand? But now as a parent, when somebody is in discipline, they must get a timeout. So this government, for not making you feel safe in terms of your economic security, they need an economic timeout. This government, in terms of their policies in the energy sector, in agriculture, they need a timeout in those sectors. This government needs a political timeout. And people of Cumuto, on my last line, the words of Malcolm X, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. So we want you to band together. We want you to spread the message. We want you to work together with the MPs in the surrounding, the shadow MPs in the surrounding constituencies. Because it doesn't matter how much you vote here. If you get 100% voter turnout, that is changing who's sitting in Whitehall. That is changing who is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So your job is not just to vote, not just to mobilize the support of the United National Congress. Your job is to also support the neighboring constituencies, support the activists in Toko, support the activists in Lauketa Talparo, support the activists in Dabadi Omera. So whenever Keith Rowley decides to call the next big election, we will follow the lead of our brothers and sisters in Tobago and give him a political timeout. Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, my UNC family, I want to take this time now to introduce to you Mr. Ravi Ratiram. But I want to tell you a little bit about who is Ravi Ratiram. Ravi Ratiram hails from the Southern District of Grand Road, Ruzilac. He holds a BSc in Electrical Engineering from the University of the West Indies and a Master in Business Administration from Angel Ruskin University. He is a former Vice President and President of the University of the West Indies Student Guild, St. Augustine Campus. He holds many years of work experience in both private and public sector, serving as a former director on TSTT and as a senior manager at the Public Transport Service Corporation, PTSC. No stranger to engaging in charitable work himself. Ravi has also sought to highlight the philanthropic work of NGOs and CBOs Club, and distinguished individual across the length and breadth of the country via live television show Building TNT. He has served TNT at a local government level as an alderman at the Couva Tabaki Talparo Corporation. Ravi first served in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago as a temporary government senator in the 10th Republican Parliament. having run for political office on at least 3 occasions, first Labre, then Point 14 in the 2020 general election, Ravi was selected, nominated, and on August 10, 2020, elected as the Member of Parliament for Couvan North. Where he serves his constituents and the national community with distinction as the Opposition Shadow Minister of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. Mr. Ravi Ratiram also served as party organizer on the National Executive of the United National Congress, a post which he has held since 2015. Give Mr. Ravi Ratiram a round of applause.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
Thank you. Thank you most kindly, Madam Chairperson, for such a warm welcome here this evening. A pleasant good night to our honorable political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, our resident MP for Cumuto Manzanilla, your ever hardworking MP, Dr. Rai Ragbir. Let us show our appreciation for him. My parliamentary colleagues on the platform, Chief Whip MP Dr. David Lee and former Senator Tahaka Obeka, other members of local government who are on the platform, community activists, those of you joining us on the Facebook Live, and those of you who are gathered here tonight in your hundreds, coming out to show your love for the United National Congress and our honorable political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I say a pleasant good night to you. I acknowledge our colleague from NATEX, our PRO is here, Dr. Kirk Mego, Brother William Archie. I say thank you to Miss Angie Benjamin, and I see our stalwart, the man who helped move Sangre Grande Regional Corporation from a P&M control corporation to UNC, bringing home Toko Northwest, Brother Nasser Hussain. David Lee, David Law, Alderman Tulsi, and all other distinguished brothers and sisters gathered here tonight. You know, it's really very encouraging to see the growing level of participation at this UNC initiative, TT Speaks, a forum which has been put together by our honorable political leader to take us across the length and breadth of our country on a weekly basis as we listen and share ideas with you, the beautiful people of Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight, this mammoth crowd, brothers and sisters, is no doubt a reflection of the tremendous amount of work put in by the organizing team. And I would like to start off by heartily congratulating your MP, his staff, and all our councillors on the platform for the wonderful work they have done in hosting tonight's meeting. I want to say a special thank you to our honorable political leader and leader of the opposition, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who has definitely distinguished herself above and beyond all those who have served this country as the head of government. She is truly the most compassionate and visionary leader and the best Prime Minister that TNT has ever seen. This evening, brothers and sisters, I want to highlight what this PNM administration has done or not done for agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago, because I recognize that we are also tonight situated in Cumuto Manzanilla, which is one of the major food basket of our nation, a constituency with countless numbers of farmers and fisherfolk who significantly contribute to the food security of our nation. Brothers and sisters, I was most upset to learn only yesterday about a farmer right next door in Vega de Oropuch whose crops were being bulldozed by a company contracted by the state's land settlement agency. There is a video that is circulating on social media, and I have shared that video on my MP for Kuvanot Ravi Ratiram Facebook page, a video depicting this shocking and outrageous act. When I received word of this, I visited with the farmer, and his story is true. It is true, and it is really a horrific tale of seeing your life work taken away from you right in front of your eyes. For you to see the crops that you have, the fruit trees that were actually planted by your father, a third-generation farmer whose family has been farming on that agricultural parcel of land for over 40 years, to see your livelihood being taken away from you by this wicked, uncaring PNM dictatorial government. It broke my heart, brothers and sisters. I immediately issued a press release calling on the government to cease and desist this willful destruction of any agricultural crops, especially at such a critical time when our country is facing a severe food crisis. Brothers and sisters, the contribution of agriculture to GDP has been steadily declining ever since this wicked PNM came into government, after peddling their lies and deception about putting agriculture first. Now look at the extent of their hypocrisy, creating havoc and frustration by bulldozing farmers' property, brothers and sisters. Imagine coconut trees that over 15, 16 years bearing fruits, which this farmer will pick the coconut and the lemon and the lime, and he will sell to the villagers to provide an honest livelihood so that he can cater for his family. What has happened, brothers and sisters, is this uncaring PNM government has taken away this farmer livelihood. They have taken away food from the children, from his family. And then they want to come and tell us that they are putting agriculture first, brothers and sisters. Through the PNM negligence and marginalization of the agricultural and fishing sector, the government has now created a food and nutrition security crisis here in Trinidad and Tobago. If we look at their failures to deal with predial larceny, which is something that farmers from across the country is being affected by, through their neglect and lack of resources for the predial larceny squad, it is no wonder that farmers have little faith of recovery when their crops and livestock are stolen. The government needs to take some of that 300 million sitting in the Ministry of Finance for the second year in a row. Remember last year, they boasted about a 500 million stimulus package, and none of that was used to assist our farmers and our fisherfolk. Brothers and sisters, what this government needs to do is to take some of that money sitting in the Ministry of Finance for a second year in a row and use it towards outfitting and resourcing our predial larceny squad so that our farmers can be protected from the criminal elements out there. I want to ask Rowley and his new Minister of Agriculture? Where are the plans and promise to make agriculture tax-free? Where is the strategy to improve our food security, to prevent widespread suffering and starvation in a nation, particularly those who are poor, those who are marginalized, the vulnerable group in the society? Over 100,000 persons have become unemployed under this uncaring dictatorial PNM administration. Some families do not know where their next meal going to come from. And what did they do, brothers and sisters? What is happening to the Namdevco Food Box Hamper program? What is happening to the food card program? After they get a sound flogging in Tobago from the PDP in that election for the THA, after that, they just shut down like Rowley get vexed with the entire country after they get that flogging. Well, I want to tell Rowley, set the date for the local government election, and Nasa, David, Tulsi, Kenwin, and the entire team will put a sound flogging on you and your uncaring PNM government. Brothers and sisters, right here in Manzan, the fisher folk have been complaining about the neglect that they face, the contempt dish out to our fisher folk. The government has completely failed to deal with the issues affecting the fishing community. The Manzanilla fishing folks have been asking for the lights, for the water, for the security. Dr. Rai Ragber has made representation on multiple occasions for the fisher folks up in Manzan. Piracy on the high seas. Central fishermen face the piracy issues. Manzan fishermen, Toko, any part of this country the fisher folks come from, they are all a threat out at the high seas, where in some waters they have to pay tax to be able to fish, to ply their trade, brothers and sisters. This government reckless abandonment of our fisher folks must stop. Just 2 weeks ago, 2 more fishing vessels in my constituency of Couva North from down in Cali Bay was subject to an arson attack. This could have been avoided if the necessary infrastructure was in place. Almost a year ago, I met with the failed Minister of National Insecurity, Minister Fitzgerald's afterbirth, Ethelbert Hines, outlining a priority list of recommendations collectively made by various stakeholders in the fisheries sector. From that list, discussions were held about implementing what was termed low-hanging fruits. One of these, which is most important to the security of fishermen at the Cali Bay fishing facility, is the establishment of a Coast Guard base in Cali Bay. To date, brothers and sisters, nothing has happened with respect to that Coast Guard base. You know where they set up the Coast Guard base? Down at the Yacht Club in San Fernando, for those who own yachts. So the yachties and the financiers of the PNM and the friends of the PNM and the high-ranking official, they get a Coast Guard base down there. But what is left for our fisher folk out at high sea? Brothers and sisters, as a result of this neglect, our fishermen remain vulnerable to the criminal element. So brothers and sisters, we on the opposition are on the ground and are in touch with you and your issues, unlike the PNM who are running a roadshow to try and recover Rowley's popularity amongst their own. They do not care about you, and the evidence is all around. As my leader always say, despite the dark days ahead, there is always hope. That even the darkest night must end when the sun and the sun shall definitely rise again. Our leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Visesa, has always led with love, consideration, and compassion. Her teachings have always been about uplifting our citizens, about being our brothers and sisters' keeper. So much so that as the MP for Couva North, our leader has inspired me and my entire team to embark upon a project called Feed a Family program. When the shutdown now started, brothers and sisters, I want to share a little story with you. The inspiration came from our leader to provide meals for the underprivileged amongst us. And collectively with Dr. Mego and Wesley Pancham and Shogunas West and Dr. Lee and Angie Benjamin, we were able to put together over 22,500 meals, sharing every single day, 500 meals. And this was because of the compassion and the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. So in concluding, brothers and sisters, I ask that you join the People's Revolution started by Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC, and let us get this wicked, uncaring PNM administration out of office and return good governance and progress to our nation. Let us continue to carry the mantra of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa to serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. For the service to man is the service to God. May God continue to bless you, brothers and sisters. Long live you, the beautiful people of Cumuto Manzanilla. Long live the United National Congress. And long live our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I thank you.
Yes, let us hear it for Ravi Rachiram, Member of Parliament for Kuma North. Now, coming to the podium, the man who stood up for the divers, those divers that lost their lives, but what Paria did to them, a man who showed he is caring, showed the UNC is caring. Calvin may be the dragon in Sangre Grande, but we have a dragon in the Parliament, our Chief Whip. Let us welcome Dr. David Lee, MP for Point of Bear. Let's give him a Cumuto Manzanilla welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Good night to everyone here. I know we're running late tonight, and in the essence of time, I would not detain you because I know you all are all here to listen and hear your beautiful MP, Dr. Rai Ragbir, Cumuto Manzanilla. Tonight is not about David Lee. Tonight is not about David. Tonight is about Koreal, Cumuto, and the beautiful people of Cumuto Manzanilla, and all my friends, my counselors, I call them my friends, Calvin, Keon, and my good brother, Kenwin. We go back long, long time. And I see some beautiful people like Glenn Ram here in the audience and others. Angie Benjamin, Alderman from Kuvata, Bakita, Paro, and Alderman Kevin Gibbs from the Tunapuna Corporation. If I didn't call him, I would not get a drop to go back in Port of Spain. So tonight, as the United National Congress continues our national campaign where we carry TT Speaks throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad. Last week, Thursday, we were in Faizabad. The week before, we were in Pointe-a-Pierre, St. Augustine, Caroni Central, and we will continue rolling out TT Speaks every Thursday night until you, the beautiful people of Trinidad and Tobago, bring back United National in local government and control all the corporations. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about quickly spying. You would have heard on Monday in our virtual, our Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa talked about spying on citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. On Tuesday this week, Tuesday night in Diego Martin, the Prime Minister came out and said Kamla is lying. Do you believe Kamla is lying? And I'll tell you why she's not lying. This is the same leader, Prime Minister, who back in 2011, 2012, when he was the opposition leader, came to Parliament and bought a fake email saying that the sitting Prime Minister and some of our cabinet colleagues was trying to take out a certain reporter. You all remember that? So who is lying on who? Who like Bacchanal more than this Prime Minister? And we must never let him get away with that. When our honorable leader, Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, talks, she talks the truth. And as Jerlene John said today in the Guardian newspaper, more will be told about that spying on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And I leave that there tonight. I want to talk about Rohan Sinanan. Rohan Sinanan some may belong somewhere up on this side, correct? And throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, our roads are in a horrendous state. Pothole after pothole after pothole. On Tuesday night, in the same Diego Martin meeting, the PNM Diego Martin meeting, the Prime Minister mentioned something. You know what he mentioned? He mentioned that Lake Asphalt will be transferred from the Ministry of Energy to under Sinanan Works and Transport. And I want you to stick up in there and remember Lake Asphalt under Rohan Sinanan. Going forward, when they closed down Petrotrin refinery used to produce bitumen to fix our roads. Since they shut down Petrotrin and the refinery, that is why our roads are in such a terrible state. Contractors have to import bitumen. All the bitumen that was produced at Petrotrin refinery used to be given to Lake Asphalt as a component to fix our roads. Now what is happening, the Prime Minister mentioned on Tuesday, that Lake Asphalt will now, I'm assuming, will be the sole importer of bitumen that will be placed under Rohan Sinanan, under Works and Transport. I want to ask you here tonight, doesn't that smell fishy? And I want to let you know, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago, be on your guard about that bitumen that is coming through Lake Asphalt that will end up in Works and Transport. I ask, who will be the broker who will be importing that bitumen for Lake Asphalt when it goes under Rohan Sinanan? Stay tuned, my brothers and sisters. I want to say something about Paria. We all went through for the last 6 weeks the horrible incident with the 4 divers in Paria. We all know about it. Even though it's up here in Cumuto Manzanilla, we all know about those divers. That happened in my constituency of Pointe-a-Pierre. And today, that commission of inquiry has not started. I want to tell this government, this commission of inquiry is not like any other commission of inquiry. I'll tell you why. 4 lives were lost in that commission of inquiry. It is not like the commission of inquiry of Clico. No lives were lost. Money was disappeared. It is not like the commission of inquiry as the UF commission. No lives were lost. It is not even like the commission of inquiry the Prime Minister likes to talk about, the Point Fortin Highway, that back in 2019, he talked about starting a commission of inquiry on that whole Point Fortin Highway to try and hold something over the opposition, the United National Congress heads. I want to tell this government, I want you all to start that commission of inquiry on behalf of all those divers' families by tomorrow, because 4 lives were lost and the people need accountability. Under local government, I driving up here tonight with Kevon. You ever think Faris will come up here? You think Faris in his right mind will come up here? Faris don't even know how to find up here. Right? Come on. I don't even think the Haji who replaced him, who he replaced, ever come up here. So I want to tell all you, if you see Faris up here, he's looking for chocolate on a tree. Okay? So don't take God out your thought. Faris ain't coming up here, my brothers and sisters. I want to talk about crime. Our nation is under siege with crime. Crime is rampant throughout Trinidad. Even in my own constituency, Sunday gone at 11 o'clock, a family that I knew, retired people, cooking in their home at 11 o'clock in the day, Sunday, and 5 bandits came and tied them up while they were cooking their meal. And nothing has happened. And that is throughout the length and breadth, and I'm sure we have horror stories like that in Cumuto Manzanilla. And we must not allow this government to get away. We must say enough is enough, and we fed up, and it's time to go home, the PNM. Let's talk about Tobago Carnival. We're here in Tobago Carnival in October, and that's a great thing. I want to remind you all, back in January 2011, under the Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa, under the time the Minister of Culture was Winston Gypsy Peters, who is now a PNM. Kamla Prasad Bisesa and their proposal under the PP government was to bring Carnival in Tobago in October in 2011. You know what London and the THS said, the PNM London said? Keep out of Tobago Carnival. They didn't want any Tobago Carnival. We are so happy that the people of Tobago found their way and voted the PNM out. That is why we can have Tobago Carnival in October this year. And we will start that in Trinidad. We will vote them out. Before I close, PNM say only them could run Trinidad and Tobago. Only them could run Trinidad and Tobago. I want to remind you and the beautiful people of Trinidad what they did. It was PNM who destroyed Petrotrin after decades of success. It was PNM who closed down Caroni. It was PNM who destroyed Atlantic Train 1. It was PNM who brought Point Lisas to its knees. It was PNM who removed the fuel subsidy, and fuel prices will increase just now. It was the PNM who removed and cut gate. It is PNM who's bringing back property tax. It is PNM who's presiding over the worst crime rate in our country. It is PNM who has driven our oil and gas production to its lowest in decades. And when you listen to that, tell me they could run this country? It is PNM that destroyed Costat right in Sandy Grande, MIC in Grande. I want to tell you, beautiful people of Cumuto Manzanilla and Corial, to understand that in Kamla Prasad Bisesa, they have a leader that never stops fighting for them. We have seen her week after week expose this government. This week, she exposed the government spying on citizens. Last week, she exposed the land grabbing. It was her who exposed the Prime Minister interference with the merit list for the Commissioner of Police. This is the most United National Congress, the most active party it has ever been. We have TT Speaks on a Thursday here tonight. We have Parliament tomorrow on Friday. We have the Sunday press conference. We have Monday virtual reports. We have the People's Revolution activities. This is not a time for egos, as Calvin said, as my Kenwin said. It is not a time for egos such as those who condemn the UNC. It is a time for the experience of those who build the nation, such as Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Your party has the experience, the vision, and the leadership to save this nation. Tonight, I want the people of Cumuto Manzanilla to know that the leader has told me, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, that she loves you all very much, and she will be here soon. I remember one Sunday afternoon with Glen Ram. She visited many parts of your constituency, all the way to Beach, and location after location. Dozens came out to meet her. Reality is, while we have great activists here, the people here love Kamla, and she loves you. I want you to remember something. The other day I was watching TikTok. I listened, somebody sent me a TikTok video, and I saw a past MP from Cumuto Manzanilla in a gym. Anyone over there saw that? I saw a past MP in a gym, in a TikTok video. He was doing some weight squatting. I wouldn't like to tell you, you must go and watch the video, how he got back up after he squatted down. I'll leave that right there. No wonder we didn't put him back here to be Cumuto Manzanilla. And he had to go PNM. So I want to say to you all, stand up and be strong with Kamala Prasad Bissessa and the United National Congress. I thank you.
Let's hear it for MP David Lee, who also serves as a deputy political leader of the United National Congress. My friends, the 200 plus persons here and the hundreds and hundreds who are watching us online on the UNC Facebook page, on Douglas Politics, on the MP's page, I want you all now to welcome a man who has served the medical fraternity, who helps the people of this country. Welcome, Member of Parliament, Cumuto Manzanilla, Dr. Rai Ragbir.
Stay focused and hold your ground. Because what don't kill you should make you stronger. So my problem is like
Good evening. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Sitaram. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. I love you and thank you for coming out in your numbers. To those that are viewing us on the internet, I thank you. First of all, I want to compliment each of the speakers, and the lineup has been fantastic, and your words have resounded with those in the audience and everyone that's listening in the airways. Two persons are not here that I will recognize. Mr. Councillor Anil Maraj. Let's give him a round of applause. And we also have the Chairman, Anil Juturam, of the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation. My brothers and sisters, this is actually the first kind of its meeting in the country since the pandemic hit us in 2020. And I always want, as a doctor, to thank all the healthcare workers and the first responders. Let's give them a round of applause. You know what COVID teaches us? Today is the day. You know, if you're here tomorrow, each one of us being touched by that. And you see in Cumuto Manzanilla, let me tell you, COVID spread like wildfire and everyone was affected. My friends, when I see this crowd, I say yes. The United National Congress with your yellow shirts, your banners, your flags, and your horns. Give yourself a round of applause. Tonight we are at Corial Secondary School. And you know, interesting thing about this school was built under the tenure of Kamala Prasad Bissessa, as Minister of Education. A woman who has pride, who loves children. She loves children so much that she will do anything for children. And I want to publicly pay tribute as my political leader. Oh, by the way, her birthday is this month. Anybody knows Kamala Prasad Bissessa's Senior Council birthday? What day in April it is? It's on the 22nd. So I have a little surprise for her. Nirmal Singh, you ready with your people? Are they here? Yeah. You know, I recently started a program to be launched, and it was at Cumuto Manzanilla. It's not a very wealthy place. A lot of agriculturists and a lot of indigent persons. And we have to give back to the community. Oh Lord, I can tell my wife this. I always have to put my hand in my pocket. But you know, I love doing that. And I started a program, Adopt a Child, Return That Child to School. And term 3, all children have to go to school. So I have, unfortunately, this is for the political leader, the children, some of them fell asleep. So I have one that is here, and I have a package waiting. This is what I was going to do at the end, but because of the children, Gerald Joseph, come. This is what we do. This is the passion of our political leader. Give to children. Educate our people. Educate our children and give unto them. Gerald? All right? Yeah. Come tell the mic. Tell them your name and what school you go to. Hold it.
I am Gerald Joseph, and I go to the school, Northeastern College.
Very good. Give him a round of applause. Thank you, Gerald. You must step down. And I have another surprise for the political leader. Where are my cards? I have here one of the mantras of the leader. Grow the UNC. She has the MPs out there. And boss lady, I know you're watching. Watch. All these are UNC members, new members. And leader, when your turn comes, so any sort of elections, we are ready, exactly as was MP David Lee said, we are ready. So I invite you to come to Cumuto Manzanilla. All these are new membership cards. And we have some people here stand up proud with the UNC back. Give them a round of applause. It's all real, it's not fake. And I just want two persons, and they wanted to say something on the microphone. Come, one person, come forward.
A pleasant good night, Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum. I send in happy birthday to our political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. I have to say, we as men, we have to pay respect to the women. Look at the crisis what's going on in the country with women these days. It's sad. Have compassion for the woman and have respect for women. Now is the time in Hindu tradition, in Navaratri, and we pay respect to the Devis. And I consider Kamala Prasad Bisesa as Durga Devi. And I wish her happy birthday and Sri Durga Ashmi to her. And Sri Kamala Devi Mata Ki Jai.
The next person. Okay, well, thank you very much. Yeah, and thank your UNC members. And I know she will be proud of us here, growing the party, because we need to move out this wicked PNM government. My brothers and sisters, Cumuto Manzanilla is a constituency, as you can see, as you traverse the length and breadth of it, in all infrastructural issues. The councillors told you what they had to face with little resources, from box drains, the road crossings, the bridges, the lack of street lights, and it's all over. It's rampant in the constituency. And this is what we call, ladies and gentlemen, geographical discrimination. You know what? I hear many people say, we in the bush. So you know what? We are putting resources out there. But let me tell you something. I am proud to be your MP for Cumuto Manzanilla. Could we have the slides as well? Our area needs lots of bridges. The bridges that have been there have been broken down. Alas, from trying really hard, what we have seen is that they have tenders for two bridges, one up in Corial and another one up in Carmichael. Land slips, the whole land moving. Everywhere you go is landslip. Bonaire Road and Cumuto Main Road has been earmarked for repair. I have been through the length and breadth of Cumuto Manzanilla, about all 55 polling divisions, looking at infrastructure works, how to make people's lives better. As you can see some of the photos there, you can see some of the works that have been done, some of the work that needs to be done, from booster station in Kenwin's area, North Manzanilla, and in Guayco, Tamina. You know, we're in a school here, and the political leader, Kamala Prasad Bisasa, as I gave Jarrell his books. Education is very important. We had a protest about 2 weeks ago, and it was at the Coal Mine Early Childhood Center. You imagine this wicked government? It was completed under the tenure of the partnership government, and it's overgrown with shrubs and bush, and yet there are many indigent people who need to send their children to preschool, and there were no preschool. I remember from the early onset of COVID, my office, I asked for permission. I leased a photocopier. You could ask my fantastic team. Give them a round of applause on the move. In consultation with the primary school principals and secondary school, I bought paper, I bought ink, I leased a copier, and all the work was being done and in these pamphlets, and if they came, pick it up and sent it for the schools, and the children actually got some work. Because you know what? Many of our children do not have laptop devices. When private and public gave out, people in Cumuto Manzanilla feel cheated. Nobody remembers them. But you know what? I will remember you. Kamala Prasad Bisasa will remember you. On this topic of education, look at Sangro Chiquito. A fantastic road has been built, box drain, sidewalks. But here what? It's Sangre Grande. Next to Sangre Grande is Sangre Chiquito, right? Sangre Grande means large blood. Chiquito means small blood. The Sangro Chiquito Presbyterian School needs to be repaired. Those children have been in the Grosvenor Presbyterian School, and the school is overcrowded. I recently mentioned in Parliament, what has happened is that this entire Eastern Peninsula has no Islamic school. And many imams have come to me, inshallah, and asked if there was a possibility, in all humility, if they could have a Muslim school. Because the Christian and the Hindu denominations, they have some semblance of school. And I think they deserve it. Water is a main problem in the constituency. But you know what? I know from discussions that in Ture, that they have a dam that's already signed off, and that can produce between 10 to 15 million gallons of water a day. And in the photos, you'll see Guayco Terminal Booster Pump and North Manzanilla Booster Pump. I know places in Carmichael and in Kaiwal and in also in Lil Cora Road, we have water issues. I will just briefly turn to agriculture because, you know, time is going. You know, yes, MP Ratiram said we are one of the major food baskets. We have pristine cocoa and coffee. But you know, a funny thing, the Cocoa Development Company of Trinidad and Tobago recently said in a joint select committee that they were cash-strapped and they have no way of discharging their mandate. This is what the PNM government does. They take everything and they destroy it. And you know what? What is sad? They want this cocoa. You all live in this area. Fantastic cocoa products. They will get run, will fall down. I want to see who dance in the cocoa dance now. My friends, we have the Nariva swamp in the budget for 2021-2022. They promised pumps. All those pumps are very old. Nariva swamp has about 500 farmers. 500 farmers. And yet, money was promised. We wait. Yes, that was midterm budget. I wait to see when those pumps will be procured for Nariva swamp. And what one of the councillors had mentioned, Charlene Mona, she said about the Carlton Bridge. Imagine you have 500 farmers bringing produce, carrying heavy material, and no bridge. My friends, I want to tell you something, and I will not be long. You know, because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, Now they account for something like 33% of the world wheat. Wheat, we get flour. But I'll tell you something, friends. You can Google it. Go on YouTube. You have something here that the country wants. Banana flour. Yes, banana flour. Green fig flour. Breadfruit flour. Cassava flour. It's cheap. It's almost free. And guess what? It's gluten-free as a doctor. Good for diabetics. And it helps with weight loss and some belly fat as well. Maybe I should use some. But you know what I want to boast about Cumuto Manzanilla? That during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it continues, you know what's a nice business enterprise? I'll tell you. Fever grass, ginger, turmeric, moringa. We use that, almost each one of us use that every day. And that could be made a herbal market and export so we can get foreign exchange. Look at Mapa Farm. That's a propagation unit for all the citrus, for mangoes. As I say mangoes, we have thousands of mango trees. And guess what? Why somebody don't take the mangoes and make juice? Because watch me, just like we have orange juice, pineapple juice, because you know what? Cumuto Manzanilla full of citrus, right or wrong. So you have all these things. So we know, together with your MP, we need to think out of the box. How we can bring an income for the people here. How we can make Cumuto Manzanilla attractive in terms of ecotourism. We have the beach forest. We have in the river swamp with the manatee. We have the boardwalk in Fishing Pond. We have the bat cave in Tamana. And we have much more. My friends, as I close, I would like to just pay salute to some of our heroes who live here. The late Sambo Dram, better known as the Lion of Cumuto. Recently, the late Pandit Tara, who lived in Housing Village, Corial, served the Hindu community for over 60 years. We must remember Mr. Ramdeen Ramjatan. Anybody who know who is that? John Agitation. He was a councillor elected for UNC in 1989. He was also awarded the Hummingbird Medal. So when you live in Cumuto Manzanilla, don't let anybody tell you you're living in a bushy area, in a backward area. Listen, you give yourselves a round of applause. You could feed the nation and be stand tall. And as I close, I want to tell you, and I want to invite the political leader to come again. We still had to do social distancing, but I know you wanted to be a bigger crowd because this is a huge crowd. I want to thank you. I want you to reach home safe. With that said, I'll just put you to your two chairpersons to bid you farewell, and I thank you for your love and your support. And here there's a lot of work to be done in the constituency, but I'm there for you. God bless.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is our first live meeting since the relaxing of the restrictions. We say thank you for coming. Reach home safe, be safe.
Thank you all very much. We love you and stay